Welcome to The Explainer. This is where we break down the big topics using the source material itself. And today we're diving into a crisis that's brewing just behind the scenes of our hyper-connected world.
360,000. Just let that number sit there for a second. Now, you might be thinking, okay, what is that? A budget? A city's population? Nope. It's actually a ticking clock, and it's counting down to a massive problem in an industry we all rely on every single day.
So, what's the deal with 360,000? Well, that's the number of skilled people the telecom industry is projected to be missing by 2030. And look, this isn't just some abstract corporate problem. We're talking about a talent gap that could seriously mess with things you actually use, like the rollout of 5G, the stability of your internet at home. All of that stuff, it's threatened by this.
Okay, so let's get into it. Telecom's looming talent crisis. And we're calling it a crisis for a reason. This is way, way bigger than just a few job openings. Industry reports are actually flagging this as one of the biggest risks out there, something that could literally halt innovation and growth for the entire industry.
So let's put some numbers on this. First, you see that huge bar? That's the 360,000 person gap we're heading for. But the story isn't just about the future. It's happening right now. Look at this. Nearly half, 42% of telecom businesses say they already have a skills gap. And get this, to fill just one of these jobs, the average time is 74 days. Think about that. That's nearly 2.5 months where a critical project is just stuck, waiting.
So, the big question is, why? Right? If the demand is so high, where are all the skilled people? Well, the sources point to a fundamental issue. The old playbook for hiring, it's broken. It just doesn't work for this new reality.
And you can really see the clash right here. On one side, you've got the traditional way of doing things. You know, a general HR department, it's kind of slow, it's reactive. They basically post a job and wait. But on the other side, you've got what modern tech actually needs. Deep, specialized knowledge and speed. You got to move fast. And here's the kicker, the real game changer. The absolute best people for these jobs, they aren't even looking. They're what we call passive talent. You have to go find them.
And this quote from Tuck Rickards at Russell Reynolds just nails it. He says, businesses need to recognize that digital talent is a small pool of people who have a lot of good offers. They need to be clever in their approach. That's the whole thing right there. It's a small group of experts, they're getting tons of offers, so you can't just throw a job ad out into the void and cross your fingers. You have to be clever.
Okay, so what does being clever actually look like in practice? Well, the source material we're looking at lays out a new blueprint, a case study from a firm that's trying to do this differently. Let's dig into how they do it.
All right, pillar number 1 of this new strategy is something called engineer-led recruitment. Now, think about it. Instead of an HR generalist trying to figure out what a senior DevOps cloud architect actually does, the recruiter's an engineer too. They get it. They speak the same language. They can tell in 5 minutes if a candidate really knows their stuff, not just if their resume has the right keywords.
Pillar number 2 is just as crucial. It's called proprietary talent acquisition. Fancy term, but what it means is they go hunting. They don't wait for people to apply. They use custom AI tools, they're all over social networks, and they're actively finding that hidden talent we talked about. The people who are great at their jobs but aren't looking for a new one. They go straight to them.
Okay, so that's the blueprint. It sounds good on paper, right? But the real question is always, does it work? What are the actual results? Well, let's take a look at the data.
Let's talk about speed. 28? That's the number of engineers they placed for a huge client, Comcast Business, in just 1 month. Now, remember that 74-day average to fill a single role? This new way just blows that completely out of the water. It's a total game changer for getting projects moving.
Okay, next up, risk. And this is a big one, because hiring the wrong person can cost a company an absolute fortune. The claim here is that by having engineers vet other engineers, they cut the financial risk of making a bad hire in half, 50%. That's huge. Better vetting means you're not wasting money.
But you know, speed and cost savings don't mean much if you're not getting high-quality people. And this might be the most powerful number of all. A 90% reported improvement in the quality of the candidates. So it's not just about getting bodies in seats faster. It's about getting the right people in seats,
the ones who are actually going to make a difference.
But the argument laid out in the source material actually takes it a step further. It's not just about making the hiring process better. It's about changing the entire relationship, moving beyond just filling a role to building a real partnership.
And this partnership idea really stands on 3 legs. First is consistency. You have the same people working with you, so they really truly get to know your business inside and out. Second, ethics. It's all about transparency and trust. You got to have that. And finally, a laser customer focus. That means every single person they find for you is meant to push your big picture business goals forward. It's the difference between being just another vendor and being a real strategic partner.
So all of this leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? We've just walked through a potential playbook for fixing the talent crisis in telecom. But what about other high-tech fields? Think about AI, cybersecurity, biotech. They're all facing the exact same kind of crunch. Could this engineer-led, proactive model be the answer for them too? Is this how we're going to find the people who are literally building our future?